Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity tea in the news. I'm your host, Auntie Derek, and today is Monday, August 25th. This is actually part two of today's show. I have to apologize because earlier, due to Spectrum and a major outage, I lost internet like right in the middle of the show, which dropped me out. But shout out to the girls that were here; they were able to hold it down while I was away. So I really, really appreciate y'all for that. And Chill, thank you so much for wrapping up the show. I really appreciate you. That's why co-hosts, I believe, are very, very important. So I wanted to do a part two of today's show because we still had some tea to go over that I never got to get through because of this long internet outage, and it lasted for at least about 5 hours, by the way. So no, 7 hours, I think. 7 hours. So 7 hours without internet. I tell you, baby, this felt just like the 90s. I tell you, but we were able to get through it, and we are back. So without further ado, I believe that the last piece of tea that we were discussing was Jamila Jamil, what she said about Serena Williams and her endorsing the weight loss drug, and so on and so forth. So I believe we've talked about that one enough. So I can just go ahead and go to the next piece of tea that I had for us to talk about, and this is about John Amos and his children. Baby, they are after John's death. Remember, his death was messy to begin with, but it looks like the his kids that he left behind are fighting, honey. The girls are fighting. And let me get y'all this link that I have here from Vibe that summarizes it greatly. And you all should see where I have here John Amos's daughter and son prepare legal battle against each other over actor's estate. Ooh, child. So John Amos's daughter has taken legal action against her brother with accusations of mistreating their father, which ultimately resulted in his death. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Shannon Amos is suing Kelly Christopher Amos, who's known as KC, for elder abuse, fraud, and wrongful death. John Amos's former caretaker, Belinda Foster, close associate Eugene Brummett, and his production banner, Step and One Half Productions, are also named in the pending litigation. Oh, she going after everybody, I see. Okay. So the outlet reported Shannon Amos claimed KC manipulated John Amos into signing multiple legal documents that gave him control of the estate, all while ignoring the actor's failing health. Allegedly, KC began to keep John away from others in 2019 and impersonated him in text messages and email conversations. This calculated and cruel isolation was explicitly designed to render John Amos entirely dependent on Casey Amos for all of his personal, financial, and critical medical decisions, exclaimed the filing. Brummett and Foster are accused of assisting Casey in his alleged fraudulent behavior. Mm-mm. So this is Casey here. This is Shannon. This is the late John Amos. Oh boy, and I know he is turning over his grave right now, honey. Anyway, what Casey Amos, Belinda Foster, and Eugene Brummett did in the last years of my father's life is unfathomable, cruel, and beyond my comprehension, said Shannon Amos in a statement to THR. The Good Times actor died in August of 2024, although the news was not revealed to the public until October of that year, which we talked about in the show. And we actually had to clarify because when I announced his death, I had that news article, and somebody from the show was like, well, wait a minute, I thought he already died. And it turns out he most certainly did. So Shannon claimed to have learned of his death on social media 45 days after his passing. A statement from Foster alleged that John Amos wanted to delay his death announcement as his final wish, specifically so that his daughter did not turn his death and interment into a circus. At the time of his death, John was concerned that Shannon might turn his death and interment into a circus, as she had done with other aspects of his life. It was John who requested the delay in announcing his death to Shannon and the rest of the world, claimed Foster. Mm, I don't know. Now that sounded kind of fishy. Anyway, John Amos was cremated in days following his death. Shannon refused to rule out foul play, although the 84-year-old cause of death was listed as congestive heart failure. No autopsy was performed. In June of 2023, Shannon claimed John Amos to be a victim of elder abuse and financial exploitation. The actor reportedly refuted the allegations. Um, the next month, Casey Amos was taken into custody after allegedly sending threats to his sister, including images of guns, videos of him shooting the firearms, and claims of gang affiliation. Girl, girl, girl. Vibe has reached out to a rep for John Amos for a statement regarding Shannon Amos's lawsuit, honey. I have to tell you now. I'm very familiar with John Amos, just like just about every other Black American. But when it comes to his kids, I'm not too familiar with either of them at all. But what I did hear, I've heard lots and lots of whispers about KC, and ultimately, I just heard that he was just a weird ass motherfucker. Like, I don't know this to be true again, but I feel like if more than three people are saying the same thing about somebody, and they're all pretty much consistently saying that this nigga is weird, I might have to. 'Cause let's see what weirded me out, hun. Let me go back down to that, where is it? Yeah, the actor reportedly refuted the allegations, and then the next month, Casey Amos was taken into custody after allegedly sending threats to his sister, including images of guns, videos of him shooting the firearms, and claims of gang affiliation. Baby, I wonder what affiliation? Blood, Crip? I don't see no red, I see lots of blue, so maybe it's giving Crip. I don't know. But that nigga is weird, I tell you that, allegedly, allegedly. Well, I imagine this is going to be even messier because it was messy even before his death, and now they have money involved and his estate is involved. So I'm sure it's gonna get even messy. And I'm going to keep y'all updated with the mess because I love the mess. Well, that's that on that. Um, our next story that I want to talk about, baby. Ah, so not too long ago, we talked about TD Jakes and how he was suing, or if I remember correctly, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but all in all, TD Jakes had to file a countersuit or something like that. But he alleged that Tyrone Blackburn wrote his whole case using AI, like didn't write anything, and there were just a lot of errors. So TD Jakes sued for his legal fees and sued for billable hours because they feel that them having to go through that and the AI was a waste of time or whatever. Anyway, I bring all of that up to go over this all hip hop article because Tyrone Blackburn has fired back, baby. And woo child, he pretty much said that TD Jakes Honey is the 2025 version of Eddie Long, allegedly, allegedly. So woo child. So y'all should see that I have this all hip hop article, and it's an exclusive from them. Tyrone Blackburn fires back at TD Jakes with class action threat over alleged male victims, honey. Girl. Tyrone Blackburn says he's preparing a class action lawsuit in federal court against TD Jakes, accusing the high profile pastor of sexual abuse and trafficking involving multiple male accusers. In a newly filed court document in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Blackburn alleges that Jakes and individuals connected to his ministry exploited vulnerable young men over several years. The filing comes as part of Blackburn's ongoing legal battle with Jakes, who previously sued Pastor Dwayne Youngblood for defamation after Youngblood publicly accused Jakes of grooming and abuse. Blackburn's latest filing defends himself against what he calls Jake's attorney Dustin Push's abusive litigation tactics, and signals a broader legal offensive. He claims he will represent a group of male survivors in a sweeping class action case. The attorney says several men have already submitted affidavits describing sexual misconduct and grooming, including being transported across state lines in violation of the Federal Mann Act. Mm-mm. Does that sound familiar? Mm-mm. He also names Cora Jakes' daughter, in the filing, alleging she engaged in manipulative behavior relating to child custody and abuse. And we have heard this. We haven't talked about that on this show, but I've read that myself personally. Anyway, Blackburn argues that the legal attacks against him, including bar complaints and threats of sanctions, are an effort to prevent him from representing survivors. He insists he won't be intimidated. The legal feud began when Jakes filed a defamation suit against Youngblood, who had accused the pastor of trying to initiate sexual conduct with him during a church trip in the 1980s. Youngblood's brother, Richard Edwin Youngblood, also alleged that Jakes made inappropriate advances. Jakes has denied all Jakes has denied all accusations, calling them fabrications meant to extort money. His legal team claims Youngblood asked for $6 million to settle the matter privately. They argue that Youngblood's legal filings included fake case law and contradictions. Blackburn represented Youngblood in that case, but was removed after submitting documents filled with AI generated errors. Jake's lawyers now want Blackburn or his client to pay nearly $76,000 in legal fees for time spent correcting those mistakes, which again we talked about on this show here. Blackburn admitted to using faulty AI tools, but says the penalty could destroy his law practice. Girl. He asked the judge for leniency, suggesting further education as a more appropriate punishment. Boy, bye. Despite the sanctions hearing, Blackburn says the original defamation case has only amplified the voices of other alleged victims. He named Richard Brandon Coleman, Jakes' former son in law, as one of the accusers. Blackburn says the class action suit is moving forward despite the legal pressure from Jakes' team. The sanctions hearing over Blackburn's filing occurred early this year, and a ruling on the $76,000 reimbursement request is still pending. So, I must say, honey, like Tyrone Blackburn, baby, your credibility ain't looking. If you feel like the use of AI is what's going to bring your law practice down, no, baby. I think what would have did it was you actually running over that court server, like that. Or what's it called, a process server. Yeah, you actually got into your car and ran that person over when they was trying to serve your ass paperwork. So if that, I don't think the AI now just don't be going into court using AI all the damn time. But you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You've been a lawyer long enough to know better. So, but yeah, um, and the thing about Cora Jakes, I have heard, like I said earlier, I've heard that before. Like there was an incident, allegedly, where she was looking to adopt. I forgot, but it was like a messy adoption, and she pretty much, if I remember correctly, like stole that baby. I don't know, but what woke it up was how, like, you know how the shade room posts like a lot of, there's something that the shade room would have posted, and that's how people found out that the shade room is ran by TD Jakes Ministries, because they didn't post any of that story, honey, because it involved Cora Jakes, allegedly. So all of this is messy, messy megachurch mess, honey, and I love it. So I will definitely keep y'all updated, because I imagine again this is another story that's going to get even messier. So that's that on that. And I can go ahead and go to the next story, which I honestly don't really want to talk about, so I won't spend too much time on it. But Snoop Dogg, fuck you, you skinny bitch, fuck you. Anyway, let me get this story here for Entertainment Weekly so we can go ahead and talk about it and get it over with. Child. All right. So Snoop Dogg criticizes LGBTQ plus representation in children films. They're putting it everywhere, he says the man who had a whole line of fucking porn tapes, but he wanted to, girl. Anyway. Snoop Dogg says he's scared to go to the movies due to what he perceives to be an increase in LGBTQ plus representation in children's films. And before I continue, I just want to start off by saying this is actually a great example of what a homophobic dog whistle looks like. Because to those of us with sense, we know that honestly, there's not much representation of LGBTQ people. It's not much. And the one that it is, like people make a big fuss over it, but it's not much. And the little that we do see, people like Snoop Dogg and his bigoted ass want to be bothered by it. But anyway, what you see is what you see, and they're putting it everywhere, he said on a recent episode of the It's Giving podcast. And that's another thing going on the podcast. Well, LGBTQ plus language is appropriated, but that's another story for another time. You skinny bitch. But the rapper and pop culture personality described taking his grandson to see 2022's Lightyear and being shocked to discover that one of the animated film's propagandists has two mothers. They're like, she had a baby with another woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie, like, Papa Snoop, how'd she have a baby with a woman? She's a woman. Snoop recalled thinking, oh shit, I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. But his grandson pressed on asking, they just said she had a baby. They're both women. How does she have a baby? And also, I'm sorry for doing that voice. I'm sure his grandson didn't sound anything like that. But, when I think of a child, that was the voice I came up with. But anyway, the rapper reflected that the experience fucked me up. I'm like scared to go to the movies. Y'all throwing me in the middle of shit I don't have an answer for. It threw me for a loop. I'm like, what part of the movie was this? Snoop continued. The Gin and Juice rapper and the voice coach elaborated on his reluctance towards LGBTQ representation in films like Lightyear, saying, these are kids. We have to show that at this age, they're going to ask questions. I don't have the answer. Entertainment Weekly has reached out to a representative for Snoop for comment. Lightyear tells the origin story of a famed spaceman figurine from the Toy Story franchise, voiced by Chris Evans. Buzz Lightyear's best friend, co-officer in the film, Alicia Hawthorne, voiced by Uzo Aduba, becomes stranded on an alien planet with several other members of their crew, where she's been in one montage marrying and raising a child with her partner Kiko. The montage drew controversy before the film was even released for marking not just Disney's first prominent LGBTQ plus character, excuse me, but depicting its first same-sex kiss. The kiss was almost axed from the film's theatrical cut, but a mass uprising of employees at the House of Mouse's animation subsidiary, Pixar, worked to reinstate the shot. The comments by the 53-year-old rapper born Calvin Cortazar Brodus Jr. Sounds like a Harry Potter spell, honestly, but have led to calls for him to be replaced as the headline entertainer at the upcoming Australian Football League's grand final. The rapper has previously been criticized for homophobic and transphobic remarks, such as calling Caitlyn Jenner a science project and using an anti-gay epithet in a 2014 Instagram caption. Girl, fuck Snoop Dogg, honey. And you know what? Somebody who had a hit song out here where a whole bunch of kids can listen to it on the radio called Sexual Seduction can't tell me anything about what kids supposed to be seeing and listen to. You go ahead, honey. Are you putting some crack in them blunts you smoking or something? Because really, my nigga, like, and see, this is my thing. People like Snoop Dogg really get on my fucking nerves because you are cowards. You're cowards. And the reason I say that, I saw somebody put a tweet on Twitter a long time ago that said something around, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but it says something around the lines of people say that it's hard to explain LGBTQ plus uh, representation or LGBTQ plus to children because what they are looking for is to give them an answer that they want to make sure that the kids know that it's not okay, but without making it seem like they're a bigot. That's why you have a hard time trying to find an answer to explain that shit. All you gotta say is some people are different. Some people some women like women, some men like men, some people like both. But no, according to you, this 55, 53-year-old motherfucker who's been sitting there, you know what? And I can't believe when people was sitting there doing those racist microaggressions towards you and your ass when you was out there doing that show with Martha Stewart, honey. I hate that I even defended your skinny crackheaded looking ass, you skinny bitch. Fuck you, Snoop Dogg. Anyway, let me get off this. Next story. Oh, our next story. So Roger Jackson, and if that name doesn't sound familiar to you, then he is the son of Rampage. And I know y'all know who Rampage is. If I know who he is and it got something to do with sports, then I know y'all know who he is. So, but let me get this article that I have here by way of TMZ, and y'all should see where it says here this crazy motherfucker. So, Quentin Rampage Jackson's son, brutal beatdown is irresponsible act of violence. The match organizer slam. So this motherfucker was out at this event hunting. It was supposed to be like some wrestling that, from what I understand, I believe is supposed to be like fake or embellished, whatever. Oh, he was, honey, girl. The organizers behind the wrestling match that saw Quentin Rampage Jackson's son, Raja, brutally pound his unconscious opponent, Psycho Stu, have condemned his actions as a selfish, irresponsible act of violence. The Los Angeles-based wrestling company, KnockX Pro Entertainment and Academy, tore Raja to shreds in a social media post Sunday, adding, "This egregious act is reprehensible and never should have occurred." They went on, in the 17 years of operation of KnockX Pro Wrestling Academy, there has never been anything as heinous take place such as this, and we apologize to our patrons and fans. They also say they are monitoring Psycho's real name, Stuart Smith. They're monitoring his well-being. We reported the mind-boggling news. Raja pummeled an unresponsive Psycho at a match Saturday night, repeatedly punching him in the head until he was yanked away. And let's go ahead and watch it really quick, y'all. It's crazy. Well, they did blur out Psycho, but yeah, that you can still see him throwing them punches, and it's wild.
You kill it!
Oof, I had to turn that down a little bit. Who is doing all that hollering, Lord? Oh, it don't sound like hollering. It sound like some kind of annoying sound. Well, I promise that sound is gonna stop in a minute. That is not me. That is that video. Oh, hey.
Tired of playing with me, bro. Real one of them bit me. I'm tired of everybody playing with me and think I'm always playing and call me and not no bro. At the end of the day, I'm gonna stand up for myself because I'm tired of everybody playing with me, bro. Real.
Come on, man. We leaving, man. We're walking away, bro. Let's not tell you. Let's go. Come on, Roger. Let's go. Let's go, Roger. Let's go. Roger, let's go. Roger, I'm telling you, let's go. You listen to me. Listen to me, Roger. You need to listen to me right now, Roger. Let's go.
I don't
Let's
give a you guys trying to jump me and
Let's go.
you ain't gonna do to me, bro.
Let's go,
You
Roger.
can't do to me. You can't with me, bro.
Let's go.
You can't with me.
Girl. So it says, it goes on to say, a Kick live stream showed the pair had gotten into a minor altercation prior to their fight, but seemed to have made up by shaking each other's hands. Raja's father, a former UFC light heavyweight champion, apologized for Raja's violence Saturday night, saying Raja is an MMA fighter, not a pro wrestler, and had no business involved in an event like this. I don't condone my son's actions at all. And this is the full statement here. He also said Psycho, who was reportedly transported to a hospital, was awake and stable in his late Saturday night evening post. Raja has remained silent over the matter. TMZ has reached out to Raja and the owners of KnockX Pro. So far, no word back. Law enforcement told TMZ Sunday morning they had not received any calls regarding the incident. Um, I imagine after all of that was caught on video, honey, and the way Raja was going off, mm-mm, honey, it looked like your name. You should have been the one named Rampage, honey, because clearly, good Lord, honey. Well, remind me to never piss you off. Remind me to stay on your good side, honey. Anyway, That is that on that. So let me see what else I got. What else I got on the list? Ah, Norman Reedus and his son, honey, his creep ass, abusive ass son. Child, let's talk about it. I have another TMZ article. Let me get that for y'all here. And you all should see where it says here Norman Reedus' son, Mingus, court ordered to avoid alleged assault victim, child. Oof, girl. These creeps. I must say, Norman Reedus really did not age well. I don't know if it's the hair or, but woo, honey, he looks horrible. That looks like a good. I think he's only what in his 50s, and he looked like he damn going on 80. But anyway, Norman Reedus and Helena Christensen's son, Mingus, is being ordered to stay the hell away from the woman who told cops he roughed her up, TMZ has learned. According to law enforcement sources, the woman is getting court order protection against Mingus. Oh, he looked crazy. Good lord. Furthermore, a complaint obtained by TMZ says the woman told police officers Mingus used both of his hands to apply pressure to her neck by forcefully squeezing it. Prosecutors say she told them Mingus hit her right leg with a closed fist before using both hands to throw her to the ground, causing bruising, redness, and substantial pain. Mm, mm-mm. Anyway, as we reported, Mingus was originally arrested Saturday after cops were called to a Manhattan apartment for assault in progress on a 33-year-old woman. The troubled model appeared in Manhattan criminal court Saturday evening. He was charged with third-degree assault, criminal obstruction of breathing or blood circulation, aggravated harassment in the second degree, and harassment in the second degree, and entered a not guilty plea. There are reports that the alleged victim is Mingus's girlfriend, and his lawyer reportedly told the court he was the one who called law enforcement after the woman took sleeping pills in an attempt to end her life. Mingus reportedly ended their 5-month relationship before the alleged incident. His lawyer, Priya Chowdhury, told TMZ the prosecutor charging her client with misdemeanors or less speaks volume. She added, Mingus is presumed innocent and has pled not guilty. As the facts emerge, his innocence will become clear. Mm, Oh, oh, man. Mm-mm. I, mm, I don't have any words. Like, this is another skin. You skinny fucker, just like Snoop Dogg, just skinny and stupid and violent. You keep your damn hands to yourself, honey. Oh my lord. And I'm not, you know what? Because I don't like picking on people's names, so I'm not gonna pick on his name. But Minga sounds like something you need antibiotics for. Let's just say that. But I'm sure it has a meaning, where he's from. So that was mean. Don't do that, Derek. That's not nice. Anyway, let me get off this story. I'm sure there's probably going to be more. We're probably going to hear more about this, and I don't, hopefully that girl presses charges. You sitting there beating up. First of all, only been with the girl for 5 months, claiming that she's committing suicide, and that's why you called the police. But you want to sit there and after she committed suicide, you want to choke her and slam her to the ground and shit. Allegedly, allegedly. Like, huh? Minga, sit your ass down. Anyway, child. Oh, our next story. So Britney Spears is talking. I have an additional TMZ article. And you all should see where it says here Britney Spears dragged Sam's marriage. And she calls it a fake distraction. And here's a it's weird. Me and Sam were married, but it almost felt like a fake distraction to help me deal with it, are her words. Now, before I start, remember, like, when was it last week? I think it was Friday of last week when he was talking about Kevin Federline being a professional father, writing his book. But My people in California alerted me till he was walking out of a gay club. Anyway, so Britney Spears is reflecting on her latest marriage, blasting her short-lived nuptials to Sam Asghari as a bunch of BS. The singer sounded off on her third failed marriage on Instagram Sunday, where she claimed the only reason she wed the model was to distract herself from her then estrangement with her sons, Sean and Jaden. Per Brit, the wedding took place during the hardest years of her life, and she allegedly cut off from communication. She was allegedly cut off from communicating with her boys, Sean Preston and Jaden James, who she had with ex-husband Kevin Federline in 2005 and 2006, respectively. Excuse me. She wrote, "It's weird. Me and Sam were married, but it almost felt like a fake distraction to help me deal with it." Remember, Britney and Sam tied the knot in June of 2022 with Madonna, Selena Gomez, Drew Barrymore, Paris Hilton, and others all in attendance. The marital bliss didn't last long as Britney and Sam separated the next year, finalizing their divorce in 2024. Britney indicated she was in a better place these days, however, telling fans that she was even embracing a healthier relationship with food in the aftermath of her personal woes. The pop star also appears to have a better connection with her sons, too. As we reported, Britney spent some quality time with her oldest, Jaden, back in June when she filmed her youngest driving her around in a convertible. She may not feel as fondly about her exes, however. K Fed is working on a tell all memoir, and Sam is dating a new blonde bombshell. Mm-mm. Well, I'm sure people will her fans and I'm personally not gonna read this book. I'm really not interested in what Brittany really has to say. I wonder how Sean, like, feels about this though, or not Sean, excuse me, Sam feels about this because he's sitting there pretty much saying, "You were a distraction to distract me from my sons," and or did he know his part? Did he play his role? Maybe. I don't know, but from what I saw, he was really team Brittany. He really wanted her to, even when he knew her ass was wrong that time when she was being a Karen in Vegas, he still stood by her side. So I mm, girl. I hate when women put me in a position to feel sorry for straight or bisexual or fluid men. I'm here for the gays, the girls and the gays, honey. Y'all making me feel sorry for, masculine presenting people. I don't get down like that. Well, that's that on that, honey. This next story, so I have two more stories left. This next one was a mess, honey. Now this messiness happened over the weekend, and I really hate. So Lexi Love from RuPaul's Drag Race. I really hate what she's going through right now, especially after, she felt that rehab wasn't for her. So I already know she's kind of having a rocky time at the moment. But this, oh, honey, I just shook my head. So I have this deadline article that we are about to go over. And you should see here where it says RuPaul's Drag Race alum Lexi Love responds to porn actor's trademark infringement claims. So this is Lexi Love from Drag Race here, who did pretty well on the show. She was one of the top four finalists of season 17. But anyway, after making her RuPaul Drag Race debut this year on season 17, Lexi Love is fighting to keep her own drag name amid a trademark infringement complaint. The drag queen, whose legal name is Claire Barnes, recently responded after adult entertainment actress Selena Scola called out her, the show, Paramount Plus, and World of Wonder, requesting that they immediately and permanently cease all use of the Lexi Love name. I've had three venues pull out because she is sending them. I'm sorry. I've had three venues pull out because she is sending them also cease and desist emails. Barnes told Deadline. She made a post speaking negatively about my trials and tribulations I opened up about on the show, including my HIV. Barnes continued, my team reached out and have had no return communication from her, and she just keeps reporting my accounts. I offered a licensing agreement, terms, anything, and she is just continuing to attack online. Noting she used the name since 2009, Barnes said she's considering having a name me contest or something before she ruins everything I have worked for and erases me off social media. Scola previously wrote in her complaint on X that by taking my name and using it without consent, you are erasing my 2 decade legacy and identity, actions that directly contradict the values and consent, authenticity and respect that the LGBTQ plus and marginalized communities champion for. Although she shared a screenshot of a 2009 ruling that granted her rights to use the lexilove.com domain, that trademark was canceled in March of 2015, according to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, known as USPTO. Scola's new trademark was approved by the USPTO this January after she filed another application in February of 2024, requesting the name for use with talent agency and management services for performing artists, both human clients and digital talent in the nature of digital personas, virtual performers, and AI-driven talent. This is that bitch here, that other Lex Love bitch. Anyway, Barnes was announced as part of the RuPaul's Drag Race season 17 cast in December, with the season running from January 3rd to April 18th on MTV. Scola was being tagged as me for 2 months after I was announced on TV. She reinstated an old trademark she no longer had and is now attacking my social media, cameo, and streaming music, she said. Scola took aims at Barnes's HIV status and transgender identity on X, writing, "These personal disclosures were made publicly by the contestant while using my name in commerce without consent." Excuse me. Such infringement causes significant brand confusion, damages my personal and professional reputation, and creates false associations with experiences and conditions that do not apply to me or my brand, added Scola. In addition to her adult entertainment work, Scola's credits as Lexi Love include Prison Guard Number Two in Director's Cut, a kickball player in Jexy, and as well as the voice of Prostitute Number Four in Grand Theft Auto Five. Pretty much all shit that ain't nobody ever heard of. Girl, leave that girl. Girl, bye. Bye. If there could be two Michelle Williamses, there can be two Lexi Loves. And you see how we got a white Michelle Williams and a black Michelle Williams. If we can have two of them and those two can live in harmony, then so can two Lexi Loves. Leave that girl alone. Leave her alone. Anyway. Well, my last story. So isn't actually I guess you could consider this local celebrity news. From a story that I got from the North Carolina Beat Hunter. This shit was so nasty that, and it was fresh out of a Law and Order SVU episode, to be honest. They actually did a show just about this whole subject about a father sleeping with his daughter. So let me get that link for y'all here. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Did they take the story down? Oh, let me see, honey. Or maybe it was just the link I had. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Let me go to the news. Oh, let me see. Now, the story that I was referring to came out of Lee County, where it was pretty much talking about incest, and it looks like maybe the North Carolina Beat no longer has it on their website. I'm going to try to look one more time. Latest articles, latest articles, latest articles. Mm. Yeah, it looks like the North Carolina Beat may have taken it off of their website. Let me try one more time. And let me just instead of typing Lee County, let me just type in Lee and see what that does. Or maybe you know what? I think his search ain't working. Maybe that's what it is. The North Carolina Beat, honey. Maybe you should hire Happy, the CEO of this great site, Chatmosa, to do your website, baby, because this is not user friendly, I must say. Um, hmm, dang, and I really wanted to talk to y'all about that store because it was a good one. Wow. Well, I mean, if it's not there, it's not there, but it was just a nasty story, fresh out of Law and Order SVU, and both of them should be ashamed of themselves, their father and their daughter, and you know they were white. You know they were white. So, well, y'all, that was all the tea that I had for us today. Again, apologies for having to split this today's show into two parts, but Spectrum, it was all Spectrum's fault. So blame it on Spectrum and that major outage they had, with many of us being out of internet for 5 to 7 hours. Oh, anyway. But so thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and sip tea with me. I will be back tomorrow for a live show at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to hit up my email, auntie@auntiederek.com. And in the meantime, you have a fabulous rest of your day or fabulous rest of your evening. Bye now.